Hello out there, and a few videos ago I was talking about the CRKT Squid and how just for a small knife that is so inexpensive and well built, it's one that I think everybody should own. And you know, when I carry small knives, it really is sort of a situational kind of thing where it's not something I do all the time, and so I don't want to invest too much money in a knife that is going to be not used and not in the pocket all that often, which is why for me the Squid is perfect. Now when it comes to budget though, I sort of gotten out of hand with the Squid because I like it so much that I just buy every variation that I can. And so I said all those things in the video just a few days ago, and then lo and behold, what happens but a new Squid comes out on Blade HQ. Now this one, this base model, which we'll get back to in just a minute, this runs 15 to 20 bucks in a lot of places. I think right now it's like 25 for some reason, so depending on where you look, that price can fluctuate a little bit. But this new one, this Blade HQ exclusive, is in D2 with jade green G10 here, and it's only $35. So pretty sweet little new knife that I definitely had to pick up and get in hand. And today what I'm going to do is just go through all the Squids that I have, talk about the only like 2, maybe 3 that have ever been released that I don't currently have. And yeah, and then just sort of break it down and show you what I got and let you know what might be out there if you're interested in a model like this, which, like I said, even if it's just the base model, why not pick one up and get it? Because I don't see CRKT manufacturing knives that are much better than this as far as quality very often. And it's simple. It's a simple thing. It's a stainless steel frame lock, and there's not that much to it, but it's a strong, sturdy knife for a very good price. And if you can get past a budget steel on most of them, then it's definitely going to be one that I think should interest you if you are looking for a knife that is just over 2 inches of cutting edge. So getting started with like the first CRKT Squid that there was, the 2 main base versions. This one is just all stainless steel, as you can see, and it has the stone-washed frame and stone-washed blade. Very simple, straightforward, 8CR, 13 or 14 on this one. So this one is actually my wife's, which is why it has a lanyard on it. Keeps her from losing it. Actually, it doesn't keep her from losing it, but it makes it easier for me to find when she does lose it. So there's that. So we have this one. I'll just slide it up here by Mace Windu. And then the other base model is basically the black wash, same thing. This one, and I've had a couple of these, but this one stays in the collection because this was sent to me by a viewer who modded the show-side scale. And it has like this bronze color to it. It's really good looking, super cool little knife here. And then he anodized the backspacer and it got a nice, really nice orange color. So, sweet little blade here. One thing you might notice, and I'll bring this one back, you can probably see, you can get it up close, is on a lot of the original ones, like the first bunch of runs, all the backspacers had this little chip to them, and they were just misshapen. Just a cosmetic kind of thing that they couldn't get the backspacer right for whatever reason. So yeah, you'll see that, and I'll show you as we go. And what's interesting, this is sort of coming full circle because the second video I ever posted on this channel was about the CRKT Squid and the few versions that I'd had up to that point, the few that had been released. So after the 2 base models, the first limited edition one that ever came out was this right here with titanium in carbon fiber. And this one I've talked about again recently just because this specific knife has traveled around a lot to leave me and then get back in my hands. And this one I think is in 12C27N steel, carbon fiber, titanium. Again, Blade HQ exclusive. I think all of the variations are Blade HQ exclusives, which is a pretty easy thing for you to be able to find. You know where to go to look for them. And also, yeah, as far as getting exclusives, it's a good one to score. So awesome that Blade HQ has them. This one, number 3 out of 500. Just a very sweet knife. The only one that was ever produced in titanium up to this point, as far as I know. All right, let's put this guy up here. And then when that one came out, I think there was the titanium with the carbon fiber scale, and then there was also a grenade pattern one. And I bought that one, and I had one. I think there was like a satin blade and a black blade with the grenade pattern on the handle, stainless steel. Inserting a picture right now for you to see. That one I shouldn't have gotten rid of. And I gave it away. I did it as part of a giveaway on the channel, so I don't regret doing that because that was a lot of fun. And yeah, so not really something that I'm upset about, but I would like to get one of those knives again, and they're just super hard to find. I check eBay, I look online, and I don't know who has them, but if I can ever find one of those, I will definitely get it back in hand again to more so complete the collection. So those were like the two types of limited editions that came out, that grenade pattern and the carbon fiber at first. And then another carbon fiber one came out, and it had the blackwash blade. This one was also numbered out of 500. The interesting thing about this is that it was listed as titanium. You can see the 2490 CFTI, meaning carbon fiber titanium, but it actually is stainless steel. So they listed it as titanium before they made the decision to make it a stainless steel frame. So nice little odd touch there. This one, for a long time, was my favorite one. So I really do like the feel of that, and I think just the extra weight that it has versus the titanium, it's definitely feels more substantial in hand, I guess. So I'm going to squeeze that in. I only have a few more. Well, only a few more, but then CRKT and Blade HQ collaborated again, and they started a G10 version. So the G10 version here is in black. I don't know how many different blade variations they have with like satin or just regular satin stonewash and not the black wash. I don't really concern myself that much with that sort of thing. I just wanted the G10. This is the one that when I travel now, this one ends up with me the most. I just really like the feel of the G10, and yeah, it just is functionally and maybe as a user, maybe the very best one that they've put out. So super cool. This one is back in 8CR 13 or 14, I believe, and these two both up here were 12C27. So 8CR is perfectly fine for me. There was an orange version that came out as well, and I did have one of those, and I did do a giveaway for that as well. So so that's one that's missing, but I'm not a big fan of orange just in general, so it's not something that I necessarily have to come back to at any point. I do think there's a version that just sort of flew under my radar, and it was I think there was just, and I might be wrong, I think there was a D2 version that came out at some point, just D2, and I don't even know what the frame was, but it wasn't anything new with like the scale, and so I didn't try to chase it down. D2 didn't really need it, didn't see the appeal because the knife works just fine in the steels that it's released in for me. So I don't have that one if it exists, and my memory might be incorrect here. And also, since I'm thinking about it, guys, I want to be very clear, like these scales, this is a modded one here, you know, and it was originally the blackwash, but these are the scales that are released from factory. There are tons of people doing all different types of custom scales for the Squid because, you know, it's a relatively inexpensive knife, so you can like pimp it out, customize it for not too much more money. So there is a good market for that, and there are some really cool scales out there as well, but we're not talking really about that stuff today. So the last two that I have this copper scale one, which was a limited edition one as well. I think this one was only on CRKT.com. if I remember, but I got this on eBay. I missed the drop for these, and they sold out. This one is in 12C27N as well. Copper is patinaing. I don't know, just has an interesting kind of way of doing it. It isn't a consistent patina. Not sure how well you can see the way this has been, like, this has happened. It's very consistent with some of the other like copper scales that I have on knives, but there's a little bit more of like a darkness around the pivot and some like purplish kind of look to it, and then a more even kind of patina down here. So this one's just super cool though. I mean, I'm a Copper fan across the board, so when they announced this, I was super interested, and yeah, I got it as soon as I could, and it did take a while, but I was able to find one. Yeah, and then last but not least, we have this guy right here. And as far as I know, I mean, I think this is the first one with just like a black coating on it. And while I really like this knife, I'm not a huge fan of this, just like, it looks almost just painted, you know? So, not really the biggest fan of that, but I love the scale, and D2 isn't something I'm going to complain about, so it is just a good looking knife, and every time Blade HQ does a limited edition with the jade green and black like hardware and blade and frame, it is a good looking thing. The color contrast is excellent, even if it's not, you know, a Spyderco Sprint run that I want to spend $150 on. In this case, I'm definitely going to jump at it with the Squid. And as we look at the backspacer here, and that's what I was sort of forgetting to do, they do look a little bit better if I can focus it. Probably not, now that I need to. Wow. Alright. So they do look a little bit better as they go on, but it still isn't perfect. So whatever the issue has been with them and these backspacers, I think the Copper one here looks pretty good. But yeah, if we go back to like the earlier days, see that? So they just had this weird blemish, this weird like machining thing with the factory, and this one, it's scuffed as well, but yeah. So just odd how that happened. So anyway, guys, that is the look at the Squid collection as it currently stands. I'm still really just looking for that one with that grenade pattern on the handle, so that's what I'd like to have. And yeah, it's a really, I think it's a great thing to have knives like this at this price point, because most of you know I collect the mini Griptilians and I have it in every steel ever and yada yada yada, and that's definitely not as affordable a thing. And for people who collect the paramilitary 2s, that's definitely not that affordable a thing, especially since they sell out so quickly, and there's so many of them now to try to get your hands on. And so this, I think, for just a collector is just a really, I don't know, it's sort of perfect. It's perfect. It's a great knife, a functional knife. It has appeal for being usable, but it also has appeal in that there's a great amount of variation and a fun little thing to try to collect. So yeah, I mean, it's not so far gone that it's impossible to find any of these, even though some of them are a little bit more hard to come by than others. So yeah, if you're looking for a great small knife that you just want to EDC, or you just are looking for something to collect, I think there's a good model right in front of you here with the CRKT Squid. So any questions, comments, complaints, suggestions, let me know about that. Is the Squid the knife for you? And if so, which one of these variations is the one that you would like the most? You know, all of them are sub $50, so like, you know, you can't really go wrong. Maybe on the aftermarket they might be a little bit more expensive depending on which one you see, but still, even so, definitely worth the price, I think. So let me know your thoughts down below, guys, and I will talk with you soon. Take care, and thanks for watching.